And now I want to bring on stage our hardworking minister with a large portfolio. Sometimes I want to call her and say, you need a little help over there, sir? Because this is a big thing. Education, skills, youth, us, me the youth, and information, and parenting. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senator Dr. the Honourable Dana Morris Dixon.
Thank you. Thank you, Emprezz, and thank you all for being here. And I have to thank the National Parenting Support Commission for putting together an event like this. I was given 7 minutes, and I got a presentation with 15 slides. And I'm all about efficiency. And when we're talking about AI, AI is about making us more efficient. So I've thrown away the presentation so that I can stay within the timelines. And I think that's very important as a country. A lot of times we just go outside of the time. We're given, so I'm going to try. Let's see how good I am. And so as you've heard, artificial intelligence is here. It's now. It's not something that's to come. It is already here. Our children are engaging with artificial intelligence on a daily basis. And so as parents and as government, we have to understand that we have to give them the tools to thrive within this new environment. And that's what we've done as government, is to understand that artificial intelligence has changed the world and will continue to change the world. And it is our responsibility that every single child in Jamaica, irrespective of where they come from, irrespective of how wealthy or poor their family is, that they have a chance to thrive in this new world and in the world that is to come. That is our goal. And so for us as government, we have to obviously look at policy. Policy is where it starts. And we have had to put in place policies that will take us to that future that we want. It doesn't just happen overnight. And so one of the first things we did was to have an AI task force. There are not many small countries like ours that have been so proactive to put together individuals from industry, government, also academia, together to think through how does a small country like Jamaica really embrace artificial intelligence and really harness the power for all of our people. And so our AI task force spent a little bit over 1 year doing their work, and we have an AI task force report that is leading us in relation to how we implement policies across government re-AI. But our Ministry of Education didn't wait on that. They actually went ahead and did an AI policy for schools, which came into place in August 2024. What that says is that we have a government and we have government officials who truly believe that artificial intelligence is something that must be incorporated in every aspect of Jamaican life, including in our schools. And so we're not afraid of artificial intelligence. We know that artificial intelligence is key to our children thriving and doing well in school. And so what are we doing? We're embracing it. We're putting more technology in the schools. So when you go to many of our primary schools now, you're going to be seeing smart rooms that students use. Recently, I went to a school that was a primary school in St. Thomas. It was the Morant Bay Primary School. And those children, they are not rich children. A lot of these children are on path. It means that they're some of our poorest children. And I went there and I went into this beautiful room that had beautiful smart boards. At every station were laptops, and you had some tablets also in the room. And you had teachers who were empowered and knew how to use it. And they would bring the students in there. And when I spoke to the students, they talked about how good it felt to be in a room like that, that had technology that was the best. It was cutting edge technology. It wasn't just technology from yesteryear. And our students were so alive when they went into that room. And that's what, as the Ministry of Education, we want for every child. We want more poor children to feel that technology and have use of the technology, because that future that we're thinking about, where AI is even more important, we want them to feel like they're a part of that future and not left out of it. And so we're doing much more work on that. We're collaborating with the private sector. Government alone can't do everything. In that particular lab, it was funded partially by Digicel. And so we have support from private sector, and we're going to continue to do that. We're also building out labs across our schools to ensure that our students understand the digital world and that it is so easy for them to learn coding, to understand all of the building blocks that they will need in relation to truly being a part of AI. Our Prime Minister says it all the time. In small developing countries, we tend to be consumers of technology. But what our goal is to ensure that Jamaicans who are brilliant, and we know they're brilliant, and our children who are brilliant, we want them to become producers of the technology. AI is going to transform every single area. We're already the best at tourism. We're already the best at music. AI is going to change all of those areas. And one of the things we have to make sure is that our children have access to the technology so that they can continue to be leaders in developing the technology of the future. So when you think about it, think about music. You can now say to AI, build me a reggae song. And it can do it. And it can sound really good. There have actually been some studies that have shown that if you ask AI to write poetry like Shakespeare did, that people like the one that the AI did more than the one that Shakespeare did. Now we have to ensure that our children are able to use the creativity that they already have in them. We're already a creative country, but we need to match that creativity back with the technological tools of tomorrow. And that's why in the Ministry of Education and in Jamaica, we're not afraid of AI. We want our children to use AI. We want them to understand it because they're going to need it for their future. But what we say is they have to use it responsibly. And that's what our role is, and that's what we're doing here today, is having the parents be a part of that responsible use around AI. AI by itself is just a tool. It's a tool. What we want is for them to be able to use the tool. And so for us, we are incorporating more AI generally. If you look at our programs at Heart NSTA Trust, which is our national training agency, we're looking at more AI-based programs. We're also encouraging more AI programs in our tertiary institutions at UTech, University of the West Indies, all of them. They are looking at more AI courses, and we're supporting them in that endeavor. We're also doing more AI hackathons. And many people don't know. We have hackathons in Jamaica where we have students who are learning about AI, and we say to them, this is a problem the government has. Solve it with AI. And our brilliant children are already using AI in our universities to solve some of the problems government has. And so we're not behind. And I want to say that we're a small developing country, but we're not behind. We're big thinkers. And we believe that we in Jamaica will be one of the leaders in this region in relation to AI. And we're actively working to build out the technology that's needed in our schools, from the primary schools all the way to our tertiary schools, and encouraging them to participate in this world that is here. One of the things we do not currently have in Jamaica is any AI labs. And we are expecting by the end of next year to have our first AI lab in Jamaica. And that's a big deal for us. because it signals that we are really, really serious about this future. And this future that I know deeply that we can benefit from and that our children should be able to benefit from. So our education system is changing. Everything about it is changing. And when we talk about STEM education, it links back to AI. Because for our children to be able to innovate and create the new programs, new AI programs, they need to have a particular kind of thinking. They have to be critical thinkers. That's why we're doing what we're doing. STEM is an approach to learning. It's not just the subjects. It's an approach to learning. And that's what we are encouraging in our students, that kind of critical thinking, solving problems, because that's what AI is about. AI is not just technology for technology's sake. It's about solving something. And we're teaching them to start thinking within that mode, and then we're giving them the technology so that they can layer on the technology and truly solve the problems of Jamaica. Now, I think that's my 7 minutes. And so I'm done with that presentation. I'll just say a few words on parenting since I am here. And as a parent of young children, I have to grapple with AI and being a parent in this environment. And I tell you, it's not easy because my children are smarter than me with technology. And I think for a lot of parents, you feel it. And sometimes you feel like maybe I really can't help them because they know everything. And I can tell you in my own house, my husband is in IT. And my husband put up wonderful, beautiful parental controls. My children are on a separate server than us. And all of that fanciness. But I tell you, one night after saying good night, bye-bye, sweet dreams, and you say your prayers, and you think the kids are sleeping, you hear a sound. And when we went, the tablet was on. All of the parental controls were gone. We didn't know they knew how to do that. But they figured it out. And they're smart. And I encourage the smartness. And I say to you, encourage the smartness, but always come back to values. So you say to them, we had an agreement that this is the time that you come off of tablets. You are on it beyond that time. But I note that you were able to get around the controls. That's interesting. How about we use it for something better and start having conversations around it? I can tell you they will find their way around a lot of the controls you'll put in, but that's okay. Put them in nevertheless. And as they get around it, use it as an opportunity to have a conversation around boundaries, about rule following. Just keep the lines of communication open. They are brilliant and they're smart, and we don't want to discourage them from using the technology. And I say to you parents, I know a lot of parents are always online. You have to model the behavior we need for our children. Technology is beautiful, but it also has downsides to it. Too often in our schools, our children come and they are tired in the morning because they're up on their devices all night. That doesn't help them to learn. And so parents, you have to restrict their time. But guess what? They're looking at you too. And they see you constantly on your phone, see you at night on your phone, scrolling. And I also say to you, talk to your children about using the technology to help them in the future. There are a lot of jobs that are coming, and Nadine spoke about it. Nadine spoke about it well. There are a lot of new jobs that are going to come that none of us have heard about. Yeah. At Heart, when I started to have responsibility, they spoke to me about programs like optoelectronics, mechatronics, aerial robotics. I did not know what those were, but guess what? They're very highly demanded in the world. And so as parents, as you're online, I say to you, spend time understanding where the new jobs are coming from so that you can help your children to equip themselves with the jobs of the future. It's not the stuff we know about. It's not the doctor, lawyer, and so on. And a lot of these new AI-oriented areas have a lot of money there. And so you have to help them to navigate that. Look online, look at what are the top jobs. What do you need for those top jobs? And help your children to navigate that space. And also say to them, all that time you're spending on that one that you scroll all through the night, that social media, you know which one it is. Spend some time understanding where the world is going. That's what we use the technology for. The technology is a tool to help us to get to where we want to be. And so as I end, I say again, AI is here. And as government, we are committed to making sure that every single one of our children feels like they are empowered to use AI and can see themselves as a part of a world that has AI at the center of it. And as the ministry, we are not going to stop. We are going to work in earnest to make sure that every single child feels heard and sees themselves in this beautiful world that is to come. Thank you.